Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV, live and uncut, with my old mate Ryan Archer and myself, of course. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. You?
Yeah, what have you been up to?
Not much really, mate. I've been ill the last couple of days, so I've been off work. Got a bit of a bug, so
yeah, it's a bit of it going about, isn't it? We've been not very well in our house as well.
I don't know whether it's these lights, but I do look a bit pale still. So I think I need to couple of sunbeds.
Yeah. You got over the weekend?
Yeah, it was disappointing when I watched the highlights back on the day after, and yeah, it was poor. It was poor all round. I didn't realise how poor we actually were on Saturday.
We were terrible.
It wasn't just individual performances. It was a team performance that let us down. I think Roberto, for me, I thought had a really decent game. One mistake from him. He sort of lost his angles and he sort of dived over the ball. But apart from that, some of the saves he pulled off.
You know what? Some people were slagging him off. I thought he was as good as anyone on the pitch, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, me too, mate. Me too.
There were some terrible performances out there, but let's not dwell on that too much. We've been dwelled on that for the past few days and whatever. But we're looking forward to Sheffield United. Are you looking forward to Sheffield United?
I am, and I ain't, because I watched the highlights of their game the other night for Arsenal. 1-0 win, massive result for them. Puts us level on points with us. Puts them above us now. Look, it's a game that we should be looking to win. Of course, we're at home, newly promoted team, but it doesn't always go like that. Their manager, Chris Wilder, he has them well drilled. He's a good coach. Tactically, he sets up right against most teams. They've got a good away record as well. They
battle for points, mate.
Yeah,
they've just got a good away record. They've got a good record in the Premier League, good as us anyway.
I know. But when you look through their squad, this is no disrespect, but they've got no standout world class players, have they? But they're a team. They work for each other, and that's what you need in the Premier League. Sometimes it's going to be a difficult game because they're going to come to the London Stadium. They're going to sit back and they're going to look to nick one from a set piece or on an attack. So it's going to be. Our players need to step it up. There's certain players like Lanzini, Anderson, Declan Rice, Mark Noble. They need to step it up a bit more this week because they're going to be in for a battle. They thought Everton was a tough game. This is going to be even tougher, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right, mate. I think that's what we've been lacking over the last couple of weeks as well. People to battle. People ain't battling and all that sort of stuff. Hello to everyone in the chat that's coming in. I see the comments are coming through. We'll go to them in a minute. The main topic at the moment, mate, is the thing that I've concentrated on is the OSB. Now, there's been so much over the past couple of years. There's been so much crap going on and about with the protests and people not really knowing the best group to take us forward in terms of representing fans.
Yeah.
And the OSB is obviously came sort of like from the Phoenix, from the Flames, from the old SAB and all that sort of stuff. I was like quite behind the OSB when it first started, but it seems to be going down a very sad path. Now, the thing I'm talking about at the moment, right, I've put it in the title, it made a huge mistake, is the last couple of days they've tweeted something like a competition.
Yeah.
You've seen this, right?
Yeah. For the tickets for Sheffield United.
Competition for tickets for Sheffield United. Obviously been sort of touted by one of the West Ham sponsors, or West Ham's giving them the tickets, like, oh, put this on your thing. Seems innocent enough. For me though, Ryan, it's a terrible mistake to make. They're not there for that.
Yeah, I don't get it, mate. Honestly, I don't. Some of the things they're coming out with in their meetings, and this is no disrespect. We spoke about this 2 years ago. Not me and you. I mean, as the meetings we went into, there was other people there. We spoke about certain things that they look like they're now starting to do, but they're taking all the praise. Look, we don't want praise for it. We don't care as long as the club's benefiting from it. But this thing with the tickets, with everything that's going on with the away tickets as well, mate, it's a stupid thing to do.
It's not a good look, is it?
No, it's not. It's I mean, they're advertising it on Twitter like they're heroes, like because you can give you a couple of pairs of tickets, but some of them want to sit there and grass up their own, who are passing on away tickets to their friends and that. So it don't sit well. Don't sit well with me.
Well, the thing that doesn't sit well with me is the fact that it's not just the fact that they've been given tickets to give away. You know, it's a sponsor, but you can look at it in two ways, right? And you know, it might be a case of me putting 2 and 2 together and getting 5. They're banning people, then all of a sudden they're giving away tickets. That's not a good look.
No,
do you know what I mean?
No,
no, I'm not. Now I'm not saying that you know they're directly taking the tickets of the people that are getting banned and you know, and giving them away. But in that week, it's not a great advert. You know what I mean? Like it's.
Well, it links together, doesn't it? Because the away fans, the away season ticket, the week before that, they had a meeting regarding away tickets, and a week later, people getting banned and things like that. So, yeah, the tickets they're giving away, it's just ridiculous, mate, honestly.
But it's not only that. It's just like they get so much stick, like, from people that say about their ball puppets. And I was one of them people that was willing to give them a chance, you know, and just turn around and say, you know what, maybe this is the way to go, because other people have tried to come in and represent West Ham fans. And I'll be honest with you, the people that try to come in and represent West Ham fans, they don't represent me. And you know, they've done things in a very hooky and dodgy way that I don't agree with anyway. And I'm not a great fan of theirs either, to be quite honest with you. But all of a sudden, you get, you know, there's people like, obviously they're a bit fucking, what's the word? Suspicious of them. You know, they're all puppets, blah, 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 blah. And they've done us so much work to try and say, no, we're not. We're just fans, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden they're ramming West Ham advertisement down your throat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're ramming that West Ham advertisement down your throat. And it just gives fuel to the fire, and just say, like, well, you look like ball puppets if they're ramming, like, you know, they'll give you a couple of tickets and all of a sudden you're fucking advertising one of their sponsors. It's not a great look. That's not what the OSB is there for. They're there to represent fans. They're not there to give away tickets and all of that sort of stuff. And especially in the current climate, when there's people getting banned and people having their tickets taken off of them for a couple of games, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, these cunts come up with a couple of tickets. It's not great. It's not fucking great whatsoever.
No, as you said, the OSB are there for other reasons. I mean, if the club want to start promoting their sponsors and giving away tickets, let the club do it themselves. I mean, I didn't even know this Twitter account existed until I see the ticket thing come up. I didn't even know there was an OSB Twitter account. So, yeah, look.
The thing is, the people there, mate, they don't cover themselves in glory. I think, like, you know, the chairman of the OSB, it's very, I don't know. It doesn't. Sometimes he rubs me up the wrong way. I thought he was an all right geezer. Sometimes he rubs me up the wrong way. You know, the way people go about things, and the way he's sort of like insensitive to issues, and he wants to dismiss things. But you know, that's what they're there to talk about. That's what they're there to do. You know what I mean? Unless the club are telling them, no, you can't do this, and like, don't, you know, can't do that or whatever. But he rubs me out the wrong way sometimes. He's just a bit of a snowflake.
I'll be honest
in
with you,
terms
mate.
of like taking criticism.
I avoid them. I avoid all of them. Anyone to do with that OSB.
Do you know what?
Twitter.
Do you know what, though, mate? I try to avoid them. But sometimes, like, you know, they're talking about things that directly affect us, Ryan. You
I
know
know that. But what the thing is, we know now that we're not going to get invited to any of these meetings. Not that I would go back.
I want to be invited to their meetings.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I want to be invited to their meetings.
When I see them put their little things on Twitter, it doesn't really bother me. If I'm honest, I'll just skip past it. I don't know any of them personally. They don't know me. Hopefully, I don't have to ever sort of come across them and work with them, because we've worked with a couple of them before, or one of them before at least, and he turned out to be a right royal prick. So I don't really want to be sitting in the room with someone that thinks they run West Ham because they sit around the table with some sandwiches and Karen Brady.
Yeah, it just rubbed me up the wrong way. The way that they've sort of like anything they have built up, they've just completely wiped it out in one tweet. Absolutely fucking.
Mm.
Absolutely ridiculous. Gary Page says the OSB don't do anything for me, thanks. I go to games and do my own thing. Don't need them. Michael Pepper, going back to Sheffield United, I think if we don't beat Sheffield United, Pellegrini is under a lot of pressure to keep his job. Do you agree with that, Ryan?
Yeah, I do. Funny enough, I was talking about this today in work, and look, I've sort of backed Pellegrini since day one. But I feel if he loses at home to Sheffield United, then questions have got to be asked. Because that'll be 3 defeats in a row against teams that really we should be picking points off. If we ever want to break into this top 6, we're dropping points against teams that. I mean, Palace at home, Everton away. I mean, Everton away's always been tough, but the way Everton have been playing this season, there's no reason why we couldn't have gone there and at least got a point. But we bent over and let them give us a good hiding.
I think what comes down to it's the manner of the defeats. And I think at the beginning of the season, I said this so much, consistency is the key. And we look like, just since we lost to Man City, we look like we were starting to pick it up again, but it doesn't look like we have. Very inconsistent, very polar opposites to, Norwich and Crystal Palace, and Norwich and, you look at Norwich and Everton. I know everyone has their off days, but we seem to have more off days than most.
So someone said this to me today that if we drew with Sheffield United at home and drew with Newcastle at home, it's not the end of the world. I said, well, to be honest, I'd rather win 1, lose 1, because you get 3 points instead of 2. If you're going to look at it down that road, but it's a points business. But no, look, the next 2 games, we've got 2 massive games now before we go into this next international break. Sheffield United at home and Newcastle at home. Oh, sorry, and then we've got Burnley away. So it's 2 massive home games and then a difficult away game. So we should be looking for 6 points out of the next 2.
Mm. Yeah, I absolutely agree, and I do agree with Michael there. He should be under pressure because, for someone that's on so much money, I think that, I think he should be a bit more consistent with the squad. And I know, like, it can't all be down to him. It's players and things like that, and form and all that sort of thing. But it's no sort of coincidence, is it, that there's just no consistency there. There's something going on there. There's something going on.
Look, at the end of the day, he picks the team. He puts his best 11 out that he feels is right. At the end of the day, then players have got to take a lot of responsibility as well, because when I looked at back, I mean, it looked terrible standing there at Goodison Park last week, but when I watched it back, it looks even worse. I mean, what is this thing with Anderson that when the ball goes in the air, he don't even look at it, he turns his back and looks at the player?
Mate.
And the thing is, like, when I looked at like Mark Noble, I love Mark Noble, but I feel the last couple of games he seems to have lost that little bit of getting stuck in. I don't know whether he's worried about getting booked or getting sent off, or I don't know. He just seems to have lost that little bit of edge, and he needs to get that back. He needs that on Saturday against Sheffield United, because Sheffield United are going to come to the London Stadium, big pitch. They're going to get stuck in. They're going to put it, especially both sets of fans are going to be up for this game. So it's going to be a massive game. I just hope that the players turn up, and I hope the big players turn up, like especially Lanzini. The last 3 games. Now, I've been a big supporter of Lanzini since he's been at the club. Benefit of the doubt last season because he come back from that long injury. But this season, he's had 1 good game, and then he's had 3 or 4 bad games. And he really needs to be up there supporting Haller. Because Haller, I mean, Pellegrini sort of come out and not slated Haller, but he said he needs to be doing more. Now, I can't see what more he needs to be doing, because for me, every time that ball goes in the air, he's winning it. And then he's got no one within 20 yards of him, where Lanzini should be, Anderson should be, Declan Rice should be.
I mean, the manager was very critical of the team on Saturday, which was quite surprising, really. And, coming out and said, if I could have, replaced all 11 players at halftime, I would have done, which is something like a manager don't really do. So he's obviously picking up on the vibe that they're not doing everything they need to do. But I agree with you, like, Ryan. Haller's game shouldn't be doing... I think this is what's knocked the bollocks out of Anderson, to be quite honest with you. Haller's game shouldn't be doing all the battling work and the shit work. He's up front. He needs to be bringing people into play. The problem I can see is that the ball goes up to him and he's got no one around him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Once he wins that ball, there's no one there to pick up the second ball. No one's within 10, 15 yards of him sometimes. Against Everton, there was twice in the first half where he's got the ball from Roberto, took a goal kick. He's won the flick on. There's no one around him. He can't win the header win the second ball and then go and score goals. He's not that type of player. It's rare that players can do that in this world. But
no, the type of player he is, mate, is he brings people into play, which begs me to the next question. Should he be, what's the word? Should we be picking a team around Haller and to play to Haller's strengths rather than the other way around? Because he's trying to fit him into a system that he's really not comfortable with.
Yeah, I mean, you got to build your team around players like Haller. You got to build that midfield around. You got to get attacking players in there. They're going to support him up there. Lanzini, for me, is that type of player. He should be up there looking for that second ball. But the thing is, Haller's going to get frustrated because he's not scoring. He's going to get frustrated with his teammates. And then, what happens after that? His agent gets in the air. He's not happy at West Ham and he wants to move because he's not happy. Because if he goes to an Arsenal or a Liverpool or a Chelsea, he's going to win headers and he's going to have 2 or 3 players picking up that second ball.
Someone's just brought it up here. Taskmaster, why on earth would you buy him if you don't change the tactics? That's my point exactly. I think that's what we're lacking, Ryan. We're lacking an identity. We're lacking a way to play, and we seem to try to squeeze players into. We seem to try and squeeze players into our system rather than get a base of players, get a system, and fit things around them. And I think that's where. I think that's where other teams have success. We seem to try and force players into our system, which is, I think, the wrong way to do it. You need to find a way to play. You need to find a basis of what you base your attack on. And I know that can be dangerous. I know that could be dangerous when you've only got Haller. If he gets injured or whatever, your whole game plan goes out the window. But it's not just him. It's
The thing is, mate, like you're right. You've got to adapt to every game. You can't go into every single game in the Premier League with the same mindset and the same tactics. You've got to adjust for different teams. And even if that means that one week you have to drop Haller, just to suit, and maybe play a Yeti up front. Not that I'm saying we should, but sometimes you've got to do. It's like Felipe Anderson. His performance the last 2 games, he should probably be dropped on Saturday. But a player like Anderson, even at Everton, I said to you after the game, I don't think it was right taking him off at half-time. Yes, he was poor, but I thought Fornals was just as poor. And the thing is with Anderson, there was a couple of times in that second half where Fornals and Lanzini could have both played in Haller, and they couldn't get the pass right. But a Felipe Anderson would have put him through. So it's a difficult one, but these players need to look at themselves. They've had a week now. They've got to prepare for a massive game on Saturday, and it's going to be a good atmosphere at the London Stadium. As I said, 2 big, massive games coming up in a week.
We need a couple of them to show some bits of quality, and we need a couple of them to get their fucking hands dirty. That's for sure. Stan Keenan says, if the last performances were under Moyes, we'd be going balmy, sluggish. I agree with that, mate.
I totally agree. I've seen us play better football under Big Sam than we did last week, and he used to get slated week in, week out, same as David Moyes.
Ollie PRJ says, what do you guys think of Chris Wilde's comments about the Tevez stuff? I haven't seen them, mate. If you want to pay him over, I'll have a look.
I've sort of seen it. I had a quick look earlier. It was just basically just saying about West Ham handled it in the right way, and he was quite complimentary of West Ham, Chris Wilder. And as I said, I think he's a good coach. The way he sets up his teams, the way he done it against Arsenal as well. Because on paper, Arsenal are miles above Sheffield United, but they grinded out a 1-0 win.
Gina Snake says the OSB. I don't know whether you want us to talk about it, but it's at the beginning of the video if you want to listen to the stuff about the OSB. If you don't know what the OSB is, it's the Official Supporters Board. It's the people that you're meant to go to with problems if you have problems. American Hammers TV. What's up, boys? Yarmo up top would be sick.
Yeah, I've been saying that since we first signed him. I think he could be a makeshift striker, just how we used Antonio. I think that would be a good option. He's got all the attributes to be a good striker up there. He's got the build. He can hit a ball, so why not?
Edward Denham, Nicky, is it time to drop Mark Noble and bring in Nathan Holland? They're completely different positions.
And not only that, that's putting a lot of pressure on a young lad of Nathan Holland's. You know, It's all
not
right.
only that. I think that goes into a category of it's always blame Noble, isn't it? When things ain't going right, it's because Noble ain't there, and when things ain't going right when he's in the team, it's get him out the side, which is
I mean,
it's
look,
stupid.
I'm a big supporter of Declan Rice, but I thought he was terrible on Saturday. He was terrible. He kept losing his man. I mean, Declan Rice should study the video of Gomez in that game just to watch Gomez how he played, because Gomez was running that midfield. But I know Declan Rice obviously put that right this weekend. Hopefully, he'll work on it. He's admitted himself. He come out and said it was poor performance from him. So look, he's not the only one to blame. There was 11 players out there that you could blame.
Lucas almost says it's definitely not time to drop Mark Noble. Team plays completely different when Noble plays. Look, it shows in the first 2 games of the season. WHU Dot says, what do you think will happen to Jack Wilshere this season?
I think it'll be the same. I think it'll just be a bench player that comes on. I mean, he's another player. Technically, it's like he's a gifted player, and sometimes I think our players are not aware of how good he is, because there was times when he was on the ball against Everton, he's looking up and he has to go backwards because the players are not there for him. But yeah, I think he's going to be a bit part player this season.
It's a shame because he had such a good pre-season. I think he's a guy that I think he's lost a couple of yards of pace, which I don't think's done him any favour. But you don't get them yards of pace back by not playing, and he's not playing, is he? So it's I don't know. It's a tough one for Jack. I think, I want to get him back into playing, and I want 2012 Jack Wilshere back, the one that was ripping teams apart. But it's tough, isn't it? Someone said, maybe drop Anderson for Holland would be a better swap. I think that's a bit risky, Ryan. I think, as you just pointed out there, a bit of pressure on the lad there.
I think Nathan Holland would be someone good to bring off the bench, just like Diagana was last season. We know about Nathan Holland for what he's done for the under-23s. You can't judge him on his performance against Oxford. So why not give these boys a chance? If it's not working with Anderson and Yarmolenko, Pellegrini's paid that sort of money to have the sort of bollocks to make them decisions.
Ian 1982-100 says, why has it gone so wrong so quick? Also, where do we go if we don't win the next 2 home games? I think that VAR decision knocked us up the bollocks against Crystal Palace, to be quite honest with you. I thought Palace were better on the day. I've got no bones about them winning the game. I thought they was better on the day. They probably deserved to win the game on a balance of things. But the chances we missed, a draw, I think, would have been a decent result for both sides. But,
Yes, look, two losses, Palace and Everton. If we lose to Sheffield United, we haven't won in our last 6. We've won one in our last 6, I say, in all competitions. So we need to find a bit of form. We need to start getting. Look, if we get a win on Saturday, Newcastle at home next week, which won't be easy either. We get there, that's 6 points. Then you go to Burnley just before the international break. Tough game, but you're in a good run of form. You could nick a win up there as well, and it's totally different. I mean, if we win on Saturday, results go our way, we could be up as high as 6.
It's so tight this season. I don't remember. I think I say this every year now, but I don't remember a Premier League season being so tight.
No,
there's so many teams playing badly.
It's tight now. I mean, apart from City and Liverpool, it's anyone's for that top 6 this season. Leicester are on fire at the moment.
Everyone's going to go through a bad patch. That's what I would say. Every team's going to go through a little bit of a slump, and hopefully we're getting out of that the way early.
Well, we always seem to do ours against teams around us.
Yeah, that's the disappointing part, isn't it? Somebody just said to me something. I can't see it anymore. Dave Bromley, any chance doing 2 for 35 on a HFTV t-shirts, lads? Asking for a mate. We might do, mate, coming up to Christmas and all that, but we've got hoodies in there now. Look, I've got a hoodie on. Can you see it? Got hoodies and jumpers in there now. They fucking keep you warm. Tell you what, they're nice hoodies, mate. I'll tell you that for nothing. Woods, WHU says, we don't show up for teams around us. That's the problem. You just said that, right, didn't you?
Yeah, that is the problem. It's been like that since we've all supported West Ham. It's tough, isn't it? Like, we always seem to turn up against the bigger teams. That's always let us down, is that we don't beat the teams around us. And if you want to break into that top 6, that's what you've got to start doing. You've got to start, especially at home. You know, if you lose away from home, you hold your hands up as long as you put in a performance. But when you're losing at home to these sort of teams, you know, it's going to be difficult. If we lose to Sheffield United on Saturday, it'll be a toxic atmosphere over there, I think.
Yeah, I think it'll start going their way back. Collison Bob says, do you think we've actually played well this year? Funny enough, Collison, no, I don't think we...
No, I think there has been a couple of individual games. Man United at home, Norwich at home was really good. Watford away was a good performance. It's just not been consistent. Norwich at home is probably the best I've seen us play this season. And I've seen Anderson play. Anderson run that game. So, yeah, Man United at home as well.
Carl Wimby says that hoodie's a bit of quality, Nicky. I know, mate. Yeah, we make them. Go and check out our store. Check out WHFTV Shopify.com or whatever it is. Just go and search it on Google. 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 Yeah. Do you think Fornals will come good? What I've seen, confidence is his biggest issue. I don't know. I'm not convinced on him, you know.
The thing is, look, from what we see in the summer when he played for Spain, you know there's a decent talent there. My problem is I don't think him and Lanzini can play in the same team. I think they're too like for like. They're the sort of what you call a sort of luxury player, innit? A flair player that likes to get the ball, take people on. I mean, we haven't seen that from him yet, but we know he's got it in his locker. And Lanzini's the same. I don't think you can play them two in the team together. And that's why I think last week dragging Anderson off instead of Fornals or Lanzini was the wrong decision from Pellegrini.
Gary Page says, have you thought of opening up a shop in East London somewhere? I like to look and feel what I'm buying. I don't think so, mate. I don't think we've got enough products for a shop.
Let him come around your house and have a feel.
Yeah, he can come and see me at the stadium, mate. Anytime. You can have a little...
Go and see him at the stadium and touch his jumper and T-shirt.
WHF TV Willy Warmers now available for Xmas. Oh, yeah, we wish. 4411 with Yarmolenko behind. Hell yeah. Let's talk about Yarmolenko and his form, Ryan. It's like up and down, isn't it? It's like extreme highs, then extreme lows.
Yeah, I think maybe dropping him on Saturday was a bit harsh. I know he played 2 games for Ukraine, but he's been in good form for us in the last few games. You know, he's got himself a couple of goals. He is a threat. You know, he is a threat, and he's one of them players that he needs to support around him. You know, he come back from a big injury last season, so he's not going to be as sharp as he wants to be at the moment. And sometimes I think, like, you find that there should be players doing his running for him, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But sometimes they don't. But look, Yarmolenko is
fucking some of them players, mate, don't even run for themselves. No, run for him.
Yeah, they can't even do their own running. So no, he's one of them players, and he's a good player on his day. Once he gets a consistent run in the team, a few more goals, you know, I can see him getting 10 plus goals this season, without a doubt.
Carl Womby, look, I'm going to say this geezer Carl. Look, at least pronounce my name, Nicky. Right, Nicky. Then he's written his name out again. If I didn't pronounce it the first time, right, then I'm not going to get it by just typing it out again in the same way. Tell me how to pronounce it. Like, break it down for me. Gary Page, if I come up to you and rub your belly, don't hit me. No, I won't, mate. I promise. I like that. Timothy Thomas says, WHF TV, as a fan, I've been saying since first game we purchased too many flair players. Team me, more Antonios, no points next 2 games.
Well, this is another thing I was saying today in work to me, mate. I said, like, when you look at West Ham over the last 2 games, Crystal Palace and Everton away, Antonio is the perfect player we would have needed for them 2 games, because he's the sort of player that gets his head down and he'll run at people. You know, strong as an ox. You know, he's the sort of player we are missing, and it shows you. You know, when he got injured, I'll be honest with you, I was gutted, but I thought, right, there's enough in that team. Previous seasons, I would have been devastated with Antonio being out, because I think, we haven't got anyone that can create things now. But it shows in these especially the last 2 games, how much we've actually missed Antonio and what a big part of our squad and first team he is.
Listen, I've been guilty of this before, mate. So many people downplay Antonio's contributions. I thought he was finished at the football club a couple of years ago. But let's be fair, in a team that ain't consistent and a team that can't get any consistency going, he's been our most consistent player.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. that's one thing I do like about Antonio. As I said, he's the only one in our team really that will put his head down and just run. And sometimes he don't know what he's doing.
Graft.
Yeah,
That's the thing. Is about is grafting. That's what a lot of our
probably
team miss,
probably
mate.
the
Is
only
people just to graft.
probably the only other sort of player we've got in our squad like that at the moment is Robert Snodgrass, but he ain't getting a chance. So maybe someone like Snoddy coming into the first team, taking the place of either Lanzini or Anderson. Sometimes you've got to mix it up.
I said that last week, mate. I said that he needs to come back in and just, someone to just graft and get you through them games, especially against the Sheffield United of the world. You need people to get stuck in. Everyone's I speak to says the same. We have no pace or tempo without Antonio. Do you agree? No, that's that's one of the the bad parts to West Ham. No pace. We haven't had any pace for a long time. We've got pace on the pitch, but we don't play with any pace. Our passing is very, very off all the time. We don't get much space. We don't create any space. We struggle to pass the ball around, which is not the West Ham way, is it?
It proved it against. Sorry, mate. It proved it against Crystal Palace, though. When you look at our goal, we can play football.
Yeah.
And when we want to be, we can attack with pace, but it's not often enough. And it seems like sometimes they're passing the ball and they're running through treacle. They can't. Their legs ain't moving. They can't keep up with play.
Honestly, mate, people think I'm being stupid. You look at other teams when they come to our place; they zip the ball around nicely, nice and precision. Every time I see our players pass the ball, they've always seems to have to check back for it. Our passing just doesn't seem to be accurate enough, and we don't seem to play the right sort of pass. We don't know when to drill it. We don't know when to float it. We don't know when to, roll it. It's just weird. It's just, I don't know what it is. I've said it for a long time now. It's the way we pass the ball, and everyone seems to always be on the stretch to get the ball. And when you see other teams passing about, they just glide it into their paths. It just, I don't know. I don't know whether it's because people ain't reading people. I don't know what it is. Mark Sherman Brown says the speed of play is too slow and pedestrian. Every team knows how to play against us. Yeah, absolutely, Mark. We are one-dimensional, says Kassim Ali Khan. Edward Denham says, absolutely, Nicky. Pellegrini makes our players be very cautious in possession, which was what we had to go at Allardyce for, is what we had to go at Moyes for. Gary Pace says, if we need a plan B, what is it? With Pelly, I don't think he has one. I don't think he has one either, mate. Francesco Rabolo says we are horrible at crossing, which is a point.
I think that a big boost for the team is Aaron Creswell's been training all week, and it looks like he's going to come back in, because I thought Masuaku had a chance on Saturday against Everton to stake his claim to get back into the team as first choice, but he was just as poor. I can't pick one individual. Probably Roberto for me. Everyone else was poor, so they really need to They really need to up it, because, as I said at the beginning of the show, Sheffield United ain't coming here for a day trip to London. They're coming here to upset the fans. They're coming here to take all 3 points, and they're looking to shut us up.
Chris Londell says we are lazy. Good teams attacking numbers. We attack in slow motion. Absolutely.
I think sometimes we attack in instant rewind. We look like we're going backwards sometimes.
Pellegrini does not rate grafters. Simply a City manager. We are poor without the ball. Rice needs legs around him. We'll finish 15th. 15th. Anderson is off form badly.
Yeah. That question. Yeah, Declan Rice. You're right. He does need legs around him. As I said, you got the question up there about Lanzini. I think Lanzini, I know he had that big injury last year, but that was last season. He's played a lot of games since then. He's done a lot of training, so he should be back to his sort of best. But if he's not good enough, as I said, give Fornals more of a run in the team, because, as I said, I don't think you can play them two together. I think they're too light for light for me. Yeah,
absolutely. Shots on goal. Look at the stats. We are now nowhere near our competitors. Let's talk a little bit about Sheffield United. Let's talk a little bit about what went on 12 years ago, 13 years ago, and what it means for today. Will it have any impact on the game on Saturday, Ryan?
For the fans, it will. For the fans, because obviously Sheffield United fans are still upset over it. West Ham fans ain't going to let them forget. There's obviously Tevez masks people are buying. There's Tevez T-shirts available in the store. people will be wearing.
Little plug there.
Yeah, no, but it is. It's going to be, everyone's going to be singing the Carlos Tevez song. So Sheffield United are going to want to come there and shut us up. So it's going to be difficult. As I said, Chris Wilder, he gets his teams playing good football. They're well drilled, well organised. They will do their homework on West Ham. They'll identify our strong points. If I was them, if they'd have watched the Everton video last week, they'd be loving it. They'd be can't wait to turn up to London Stadium. But we've had a couple of days. Well, we've had longer because we didn't turn up to Everton, so that was a day off as well. So we've had a lot longer to prepare for this game. That obviously they played on Monday night for high intensity game. So how much is that taken out of them? I don't know. But this is even going to go two ways. This game, they're either going to nick a 1-0 win like we've seen down the years, or we're going to turn up on Saturday and we're going to put in a good performance and we're going to nick a draw. No, I'm joking. No, we're gonna nick a win, a nice little 2 or 3-0 home win. Everything goes well, we play well, and everyone comes out that stadium happy. But it's one of them.
What do we need to do to win the game one? How can we turn up? What can we change? Personnel wise and attacking wise and all that sort of stuff. What do we need to do to turn up on Saturday? Get hold of that Sheffield United team. Fucking toss them around like a rag doll, like a dog chewing a chew toy, and take them 3 points off of them and take it against them.
I don't even think we need to do that because player for player, we're well ahead of them. So if we play football, knock it around them, and be aggressive as well, as you said, but not too aggressive. Let them do that. Let them give us the fouls. Let them work hard and knacker themselves out.
Let them chase. Yeah,
let them chase the ball. We can play triangles. We've got the players to do it. So let them chase the ball. Let them knacker themselves out. But they're going to be looking for. They're going to sit back. They're going to have 10 behind the ball most game. They're going to look to nick one off a set piece or something like that. So we just don't get involved in their game. Play our game on our day. We've seen it. We can beat the best teams. So teams like Sheffield United are going to be tough, but it should be a home victory for us on Saturday. But it's not guaranteed.
I want it to be a comfortable one, just for my peace of mind. To be quite honest with you, I don't think it will be. If I'm honest, I don't think it will be.
Everyone wants a comfortable game. They all it's not like turning up to Anfield every week and watching Liverpool. This is West Ham. We know these are the sort of games down the years and recent years as well that we throw away points against teams like these. I mean, you only got to look at last season what Wolves done to us. We've seen it before when Newcastle come to us when they was newly promoted and beat us 3-1. So it's going to be a difficult game. I've got no doubts about that, but I'm confident that the boys would have learnt a lot from last week against Everton. I'm sure they've been putting it in training. They're going to turn up on Saturday, give us a performance, and hopefully give us 3 points.
There's a few comments coming in, Ryan. Let's have a look at these. James Gunn says, we won't break them down. We're one of the worst teams in the league this season for creating chances. It'll be exactly like the Palace game. Will either be a draw or a loss. I'm in agreement with him there. If we need Norwich, West Ham to turn up. R1 Gaming, we are stuck in the cycle. Bad play. Players come out and say it's not good enough. Play well for a bit. Repeat. Play 4-3-3 with Snoddy, Rice, Noble in the control of midfield. Yarmo, Anderson, and Haller in front of them. I think so, mate. I think that's a good. Gives a little bit more solidity in the midfield. Silver Hammer says the only way we could beat Sheffield United is if they have a bad game. Because when it was last time you saw us beat a team who were at the game.
The thing is, you say that the only way to beat them is Sheffield United have a bad game, but if we turn up and we play our best and they play our best, we will beat them because we have got the better players. There's no doubt about that. But Sheffield United, as I said earlier, they're going to want to come to London Stadium and give their fans a memory. It's been a long time since they played us in a top flight. After all the Tevez affair and things like that, they've had some torrid years down in the Championship. So they're going to want to come here, get the win for their fans. And I'm sure their manager's going to drill that into the players. So we need players like Mark Noble, Declan Rice, to mix it up. Because the midfield is where a game is won or lost for me. If your midfield's on it that day, you create for your striker, you help your defence out, you win the game. If your midfield turns up, like sometimes we do against these newly promoted teams, we think we're going to turn up and like we did against Brighton that year when they beat us 3-0 at home. You think, newly promoted, we'll turn up, we'll get the 3 points, and then we'll go out go out for a meal. No, you don't do that. Not in the Premier League. Not these days. These teams want to come here and they want to prove.
Michael says, I think he's a fan of bread because he says I think he loves King's Meal. King's Meal, like that.
He's one of them, like, isn't he? The Millwall.
I've never heard of him. Mark Sherburn Brown says, when have we played our best, Ryan? He's asking you. I'll stay have it then, Mark.
When have we played our best? This season? We haven't had a great
Norwich.
Yeah, Norwich at home, Man United at home. I thought we was good. Watford away. We have played some decent stuff sometimes. I thought against Crystal Palace in the first half, I thought we played some decent football. You look at that goal that we scored, but we just need to be more consistent. That's the problem with West Ham. And it's not only this season, it's not last season, it's not the season before. Take out the Boleyn season. Even in the Boleyn season, we wasn't consistent in that season. It was only that there was a lot of teams losing around us as well. We played some good football in that season, but it's been like this for years at West Ham. So I don't know why some people are acting like it's all new. I think we've had a decent start to the season. We've just the last couple of games we've been terrible. We've been poor. Well, I say the last two games. I say Everton.
Gary Pay says, need Noble to give them a talking to. Every home game needs to be like a Tottenham game. Andy Lee says, please no Yeti. Please no Forlan. I think someone's at the door. Please no Fornals. We miss Antonio big time. Play some of the youngsters. I don't know whether it's fair to just chuck the youngsters in. I think a lot of people putting this emphasis on Nathan Holland, and I know Nathan Holland's in brilliant form, but we can't look at him to sort of dig us out of trouble. I remember a couple of years ago, people started to do that towards Tony Martinez, especially in an FA Cup game against Shrewsbury, if I remember correctly. Went on loan to Oxford or somewhere, absolutely smashed it out of the park. Come on against Shrewsbury, looked absolutely shocking. If I'm honest, we are and he never got a chance again. I don't think it's fair. Like, people were calling him for him before the Carling Cup game that we lost. Carling Cup, I say Carabao Cup now, isn't it? The Carabao Cup again. And I don't think he looked that clever then. It's a big step up between under 23s football and Premier League football. And I don't think it'd be fair just to hang everything on him. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's fair on the kid. Yeah,
it's a lot of pressure to chuck him in. We'd all love to see players like Holland. I've been wanting to see Josh Cullen get a chance for the last few years, but it hasn't happened. But the thing is, you chuck these new boys in, they might have a good game, two games, and then after that, if they don't start performing, fans will just get on their back and start blaming Pellegrini, saying you shouldn't put them in the team. So it's a difficult one. As you said, under 23s football is a lot different to Premier League football.
One Gaming says, if Holland can't get in now, when can he get in? I'm not saying he shouldn't get in. I'm just saying people are hanging their hat on him.
Yeah, I totally understand that. It's like, if they've got to be given the opportunity at some point. Grady Diagana was given a chance against Man United at home last season. He never looked back next season. He's out on loan now and he's doing great at West Brom. I mean, some people are saying bring him back in January. I don't think so. I think leave him out there. Leave him at West Brom. He's grafting well down there. He's probably going to end up getting promoted with West Brom. So,
well, the thing is, mate, it's great experience, and that's what he needs: experience. I don't want him coming back because, as I said, with Holland, like if Diagana comes back, everyone's going to expect him to come back some sort of like fucking Neymar reincarnated, and it's not always the case. Let him go on loan. Let him get his game time. Let him get his. Let him get, develop into a player before we bring him back. You can't, not everyone's like a Wayne Rooney or a fucking Michael Owen or whatever, can't come straight into the Premier League and smash it up. It is what it is, mate, at the end of the day. Or anything else, mate?
No, I think that's it, mate. I don't think there's been much to talk about. Well, there's not been much happening this week that we haven't already discussed. It's just obviously the build-up to the Sheffield United game. I know Scott's got his preview going up as well, so you'll hear his thoughts on that. But score predictions for the game on Saturday, mate. I think it's going to be tight, but I'm gonna go for a 3-1 West Ham win. I just think they're gonna be up for it. They should be up for it every game, but I just think they would have learned a lot from last week. Well, I hope they would have learned a lot from last weekend. So I think they'll be up for it from the start. Hopefully, if we can get into an early lead, the longer it goes on 0-0, the more we get restless as fans. And then if they nick one, then God knows what'll happen.
What do I think is going to happen? I think it's going to be very tight. Personally, I think we could lose this game, and I've never said that before ever.
Yeah, of course we can lose it. We've seen it. But I just got a feeling that this Saturday the team's going to turn up. It's Sheffield United are going to make it hard for us, but I think tiredness will kick in for them. I think with players like Anderson, Yarmolenko, if they're on form, and Lanzini, and they're running for 80, 90 minutes, I think it'll take its toll on Sheffield United. And I can see Sebastian Haller getting a couple of goals on Saturday.
If they're on form, no problem. But they ain't on form. I hate to say this, mate, because I'm me. I'll try to be as positive as I can. I think we lose. I think we lose 2-0. And that's horrible to say. Horrible thing to say.
I just see the comment there saying ifs and buts, Ryan. But the thing is, what am I supposed to say then? All right, we're going to lose 4-0. All right.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But that's what it is, isn't it? At the end of the day, if we turn up, we beat them. If we don't, we lose. Simple as that, really.
4-0 Sheffield United. Let's be negative.
No, I don't want to be negative. I want to take your positivity.
I just tried to be positive, saying we're going to win 3-1. Everyone's saying ifs and buts.
So well, that's up to them,
what are you supposed to say? Okay, we're going to lose.
I wonder what Scott says.
In fact, we're going to get relegated this season. Fuck it.
Rian fan says it's been a bit fairer, mate. He says, what's that say? Rinan Fafan. Either win 1-0 or lose 1-0. And I agree with that statement. Anything else? What else we got? Scotty's preview coming up.
Yeah, Scott's preview. Scott's preview is coming up. I think that's it, really, isn't it?
We're going to do a video this week from O'Neill's, aren't we? Which will be up early next week. We're going to see Ginger Pele. Sign him up.
Are we doing a video?
Yeah, I think we are. Yeah.
Oh, all right. I didn't know that.
I'll have to talk to you after then, I suppose.
Well, I didn't know he was doing a video. I thought he was just going to the event.
I'll talk to you after. Buckland to win for West Ham. We have to come from behind. James Callas. Right, this is the last question because I want to go and have my dinner. What are your thoughts on Luka Jovic becoming available for loan in January? Would it be good to reunite Haller with his old striking partner? That would be a dream.
Yeah, of course it would, but it's not going to happen. Not going to happen.
They don't like him there, mate. He's out the side. He's not playing very much.
Yeah, but I know he might not like it at Real Madrid, but I'm sure there's about 30, 40 other clubs that are going to want to show interest, and our board ain't going to pay the money for him or the loan fee. We'll end up with someone like Giroud. Or no, so we'll probably get Hernandez back on loan.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with it. All right, should we say goodbye? Thank you very much for watching this edition of West Ham Faded TV, live and uncut. We are going to be building up to the Sheffield United game. I've got a video going up tomorrow if I can get it done in time. If not, it'll be Saturday morning. Obviously, Scott's preview coming up and all the stuff, the fallout afterwards, post-match pint and all that stuff after. Yeah, so thanks very much for joining us. One thing left to say, Ryan.
Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.